To defeat an enemy without fighting them, the first step is to understand them, but not to become like them. It's natural to want to push back when someone challenges you, but reacting without reflection can pull you down to a place where you start to mirror their actions, and that's where you lose power. There's a strength in understanding your opponent, knowing their motivations, their methods, and their weaknesses, but to adopt their ways and attitudes as your own is to lose sight of your own principles and values. When you descend to their level, you lose the clarity and perspective that put you above the conflict to begin with. Understanding your enemy requires discernment and wisdom. It's not about fostering hate or harboring bitterness. Rather, it's about seeing through their tactics, recognizing the motivations that drive them, and noticing the weaknesses that might fuel their behavior. Maybe they're driven by insecurity, jealousy, or fear, and understanding this can bring you closer to comprehending their actions. You begin to see the limitations in their approach, and you begin to realize that their behavior has less to do with you and more to do with what's inside them. In this process, understanding transforms into a form of control over how much influence they actually have over you. But here's the critical part: once you understand them, resist the urge to mimic their behavior. Don't pick up their habits of deceit, manipulation, or aggression. When you start to use their tactics, you start to play by their rules, and you begin to sacrifice your own principles. It's tempting to fight fire with fire, to think that by adopting their methods, you're leveling the playing field. But in reality, you're stepping into a world where you are no longer in control, where you are no longer the one dictating the rules. By not becoming like them, you stay true to who you are and hold on to the integrity that keeps you steady and focused on your own path. To destroy your enemy without fighting them means staying one step ahead, knowing where they will go, what they will do, and yet choosing not to get entangled in the same mindset that drives them. You maintain a moral high ground, one where their actions cannot pull you down. Your energy is not wasted in retaliation, but instead channeled into something far more powerful: growth, resilience, and the quiet assurance that their actions have no real power over you. When you understand your enemy but refuse to become like them, you dismantle the very foundation of their attack. They rely on provoking you, on stirring up a reaction, on making you respond in ways that mirror their hostility. But by holding back, by choosing not to become them, you disarm their power over you entirely. You remain in control, you remain true to your own principles, and you stand as someone they can never pull down to their level. In the journey to defeat an enemy without engaging in direct conflict, mastering the art of self-control is one of the most powerful tools you can wield. Self-control is about having the discipline to remain calm, collected, and focused in the face of challenges, provocations, and obstacles. It is not merely a passive resistance to reacting, rather it is an active choice to respond from a place of strength rather than vulnerability. It's about recognizing that every action and every reaction you make in the presence of an adversary can either give them power over you or strip them of that power. When you have self-control, you create an invisible barrier between yourself and the influence of those who would seek to unsettle or provoke you. Your enemy often thrives on a reactive response because it shows that they have managed to get under your skin, that they have control over your emotions, even if momentarily. Losing control is like giving them the key to your inner peace and stability. By reacting impulsively, you hand them your power, you show your weakness, and you allow them to dictate the direction of the interaction. But with self-control, you remain unshakable. And in that calm, you find your greatest strength. Mastering self-control requires patience, and patience demands that you remain aware of the impact of your actions. It requires you to pause before you respond, to consider the consequences of what you say or do, and to choose not to let anyone else's agenda force you into behavior that isn't aligned with your values. Self-control isn't simply ignoring a provocation, it's about maintaining focus on what truly matters to you, even when others are trying to knock you off balance. It's the strength to stay grounded in your own goals and purpose rather than being thrown off course by the distractions and disruptions others may try to introduce. Self-control also means understanding that the source of your reactions often lies within you, not outside of you. By mastering your own emotions, you take full ownership of your internal state. An adversary can insult, provoke, and even attack, but when you have true self-control, their actions cannot reach the core of who you are. Your sense of identity and purpose remains intact, unaltered by the winds of conflict or hostility around you. Self-control creates a fortress within you, one that no external force can breach. It's a constant reminder that you are responsible for your reactions, and that no matter the external circumstances, you hold the final say in how you respond. In moments of high tension, when everything in you wants to lash out or react, self-control allows you to step back and view the situation from a broader perspective. You realize that not every battle is worth fighting, and that sometimes silence and patience are far more devastating to an adversary than any retaliatory strike could ever be. By choosing self-control, you make it clear that you are not at the mercy of anyone's agenda but your own. You are in control of your responses, in control of your focus, and ultimately in control of the outcome. Self-control is a form of quiet power. It doesn't announce itself, it doesn't need to prove itself, and it doesn't require external validation. It is an internal mastery that subtly redirects the course of conflict without the need for aggression or retaliation. With self-control, you retain authority over your own mind, emotions, and actions. You become someone that others cannot easily manipulate, someone who cannot be baited or provoked into compromising behavior. And in that mastery, you quietly disarm those who would seek to challenge you. Choosing influence over intimidation is a powerful approach to overcoming opposition without engaging in direct confrontation. Influence is subtle yet deeply impactful. It changes minds, shapes perspectives, and builds bridges, while intimidation only creates fear, division, and resistance. True power does not lie in forcing others to act or think a certain way out of fear, but rather in inspiring them to see things from a new perspective and guiding them towards shared goals and mutual respect. Influence is a far-reaching force that leaves a lasting impact, while intimidation is fleeting and often breeds resentment or backlash. When you choose to influence rather than intimidate, you lead with wisdom and conviction. Influence requires patience and understanding, a willingness to see where others are coming from and meet them halfway, while intimidation is often a shortcut that ignores the core issues. With influence, you take the time to build genuine connections with people, showing them that you have a vision, that you possess insights worth listening to, and that you respect their perspectives even if they differ from your own. Influence is about inspiring others to follow or understand you willingly, not because they feel they have to, but because they want to. It's the kind of power that endures because it is rooted in respect, trust, and authenticity. Influence is cultivated through actions and words that demonstrate integrity, consistency, and a sense of purpose. When people see that your intentions are clear, that you stand for something meaningful, and that you operate with a sense of honor, they are naturally drawn to follow your lead. Influence is built upon credibility, which cannot be achieved overnight or through sheer force. Credibility requires consistency. It's the result of living by your principles, staying true to your word, and being accountable. This steady consistency is magnetic. It draws people to you and encourages them to invest in what you stand for, knowing that they are dealing with someone who is trustworthy and dependable. Another aspect of choosing influence over intimidation is the power of listening. Influence is not a one-way street. It involves understanding the needs, concerns, and goals of those around you. When you genuinely listen to others, you show them that they matter and that their opinions have value. Listening allows you to address their concerns with empathy and craft solutions that align with both your vision and their needs. This mutual respect builds a foundation upon which influence can thrive. By contrast, intimidation shuts down dialogue, stifles understanding, and leads to opposition rather than cooperation. People will follow someone they feel heard by. They resist those who simply demand compliance. Influence also allows you to plant ideas and foster growth in a way that intimidation never can. Through influence, you can introduce new ways of thinking and new perspectives, often without people realizing they are being guided. This gentle nudge towards change is far more effective than a heavy-handed approach. When you influence someone, they feel they are making a choice. They are internally motivated rather than externally pressured. This sense of agency makes the change they experience more lasting, more genuine, and more profound. Influence respects people's autonomy and allows them to come to their own conclusions, giving them ownership of their actions and decisions. In a world where intimidation may seem like the easier path, choosing influence requires restraint, patience, and commitment to a long-term vision. It is a choice to lead by example rather than by fear. Influence inspires loyalty and support that intimidation could never achieve. Those who are influenced by you feel a genuine connection. They aren't acting out of obligation or fear, but out of alignment with shared values and ideals. When you choose to influence, you create a legacy of respect and mutual understanding that can withstand even the toughest of challenges. Choosing influence over intimidation creates relationships rather than rivalries, unity rather than division. Influence builds trust, respect, and admiration, which form a sturdy foundation for long-term success and meaningful impact. Knowledge is one of the most powerful and effective tools you can wield, far stronger than brute force or coercion. Knowledge empowers you to see beyond the surface, to understand complexities, and to navigate challenges with insight and precision. While force can subdue, knowledge has the ability to influence, to transform, and to inspire. When you approach your adversaries and obstacles armed with knowledge, you don't just react to situations, you anticipate them, understand them, and find solutions that go beyond mere conflict. Knowledge gives you a unique advantage, one that is subtle yet enduring. Using knowledge as your weapon means cultivating a deep understanding of the world around you, including the people, situations, and dynamics at play. It is about seeing the bigger picture, recognizing patterns, and uncovering the motivations and intentions behind actions. With knowledge, you become equipped not just to respond to challenges, but to outthink and outmaneuver them. You can anticipate your adversary's next move, not because you're reacting with brute strength, but because you're acting with foresight and wisdom. Knowledge enables you to stay steps ahead, making your actions more strategic and less susceptible to error. Knowledge also gives you the strength to respond with clarity, precision, and calm. When you are equipped with understanding, you are less likely to be swayed by emotional reactions or impulsive decisions. You can take a step back, analyze the situation from various angles, and choose a course of action that aligns with your goals and values. Knowledge tempers your responses. It gives you the ability to respond with purpose rather than being tossed about by the waves of emotion or conflict. In this way, knowledge becomes a stabilizing force, grounding you in reason and clarity even in the midst of uncertainty. The pursuit of knowledge, however, requires humility and a willingness to learn. It's about recognizing that you don't know everything and that each experience, each interaction offers an opportunity to learn something new. Using knowledge as your weapon is not about arrogance or feeling superior. It's about continuously expanding your understanding, keeping an open mind, and recognizing that every bit of insight makes you more prepared, more capable, and more resilient. When you embrace knowledge as a lifelong pursuit, you develop a kind of adaptability that brute force can never achieve. You can adjust to new information, pivot your strategy, and make decisions that are informed and impactful. Knowledge also protects you from the manipulation or control of others. When you are well informed, you are less likely to fall victim to deceit or misdirection. Knowledge gives you discernment, the ability to see through falsehoods, recognize half-truths, and identify hidden agendas. In a world where information is often distorted or weaponized, knowledge becomes a shield, allowing you to see things for what they are and make decisions from a place of truth rather than illusion. When you understand what's real and what's not, you are in control of your own narrative, your own path, and your own responses. Furthermore, knowledge allows you to empower others, creating allies rather than enemies. When you share knowledge, you're not only enriching your own understanding, but also fostering growth in those around you. Sharing insights, providing guidance, and encouraging others to seek their own understanding builds a network of empowered, informed individuals who can contribute to a common cause. Unlike force, which creates opposition, knowledge has the power to unite, to create a collective strength that is far more resilient than any one individual can achieve alone. Knowledge spreads, influence, and empowers everyone it touches, strengthening not only yourself but those in your circle as well. Using knowledge as your weapon also means being strategic in how you communicate it. Not every battle requires all the knowledge you hold. Sometimes the most effective approach is to reveal just enough to influence a decision, to plant a seed of thought, or to guide an outcome. With knowledge, you can subtly direct a situation without ever engaging in direct conflict. You can address misunderstandings, calm tensions, or even diffuse hostility without raising your voice or asserting your dominance. The knowledge allows you to influence from within, to steer interactions toward positive outcomes by shedding light on different perspectives, helping others see beyond their biases or assumptions. Ultimately, using knowledge as your weapon means building a foundation of strength that cannot be easily shaken. Knowledge is not about the quantity of information you hold. It's about understanding deeply, applying wisely, and using it in ways that uplift rather than destroy. In life, there will always be distractions, minor conflicts, and endless opportunities to engage in petty battles that pull us away from what truly matters. Pursuing purpose means recognizing these distractions for what they are: superficial disruptions that can sidetrack us from the goals and vision we are meant to fulfill. When you have a sense of purpose, you gain clarity and direction that enable you to rise above trivial disputes. Purpose is a guiding force that gives your life focus, structure, and resilience, whereas petty battles do nothing more than drain your energy and scatter your attention. To achieve something meaningful, you must learn to separate what truly deserves your energy from the small skirmishes that do not. Petty battles arise from ego, insecurity, or a desire to prove oneself in the eyes of others. They're often the result of feeling provoked, slighted, or challenged by someone else's actions or words. But when you engage in these minor conflicts, you give away your power and allow others to influence your path. By responding to every slight or criticism, you become reactive, allowing others to dictate your direction. Purpose, on the other hand, demands that you stay the course regardless of others' opinions or actions. When you focus on your purpose, you are less likely to be distracted by things that do not align with your larger mission. Purpose keeps you steady, anchored in a deeper vision that helps you to overlook the minor offenses and provocations that would otherwise pull you into unnecessary conflict. Pursuing purpose requires a higher level of self-discipline and maturity, as it often involves putting aside your personal grievances to serve a larger goal. This does not mean that you become passive or allow others to walk over you. Rather, it means that you choose your battles carefully, addressing only those conflicts that are directly related to your mission. Purpose provides a filtering system, allowing you to distinguish between the battles that matter and those that are merely distractions. When your actions are aligned with your purpose, you naturally move away from the need to engage in meaningless struggles, because you understand that your energy is finite and should be used to create lasting impact, not to prove trivial points. When you pursue purpose over petty battles, you develop a kind of resilience that cannot be easily shaken. Purpose gives you the strength to withstand criticism, judgment, and even failure, because you see each obstacle as a stepping stone rather than an end. With a clear sense of purpose, you are less likely to feel threatened by others or to engage in defensive behavior. Purpose allows you to stand firm, confident in your path, without needing external validation or victory in every disagreement. When you are grounded in a deeper mission, you understand that your worth is not defined by winning or losing individual skirmishes, but by the overall impact and legacy you leave behind. Another aspect of pursuing purpose rather than petty battles is that it enables you to operate from a place of inner peace rather than constant agitation. Petty battles create tension, stress, and frustration, often leading to bitterness and resentment. Purpose, by contrast, brings peace because it provides a sense of fulfillment and meaning that small conflicts simply cannot offer. When you're driven by purpose, you experience a sense of satisfaction that goes beyond temporary victories. You're not just reacting to the world around you, you're contributing to it in a meaningful way, which brings a deeper, more lasting sense of contentment. Purpose brings you closer to inner harmony, as it focuses your efforts on what truly matters. Purpose also enables you to build meaningful relationships based on shared values and goals. Petty battles are often divisive, creating barriers and misunderstandings between people. When you focus on purpose, you become more collaborative, more understanding, and more open to other perspectives, because you're not trying to prove a point, you're trying to make a difference. Purpose-driven individuals seek out others who are aligned with their mission, working together to achieve something greater. Instead of seeing others as competition or threats, you see them as potential allies in your pursuit. Relationships built on purpose have a foundation of trust and respect, and these connections are far more valuable than those based on transient victories or one-upmanship. Choosing purpose over petty battles transforms the way you view challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing obstacles as personal affronts, you begin to view them as opportunities to grow, to refine your approach, and to better understand your mission. Challenges become part of the journey rather than distractions from it. Purpose encourages you to look at the bigger picture, helping you to reframe obstacles as necessary parts of your growth and development. When you have a clear vision, you're less likely to be derailed by minor setbacks or conflicts. Instead, you see each challenge as a chance to strengthen your resolve and move closer to your ultimate goal.